Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to this month's Google Hangout here at Business Training Made Simple. My name is Sarah Kerrigan, I'm the Social Media Manager for the Made Simple Group. I'm one of the trainers here at Business Training Made Simple. And today I'm joined by David Miles, who's the MD of Business Training Made Simple and our trainer here of Adwords, SEO and Google Analytics.
Oh.
So today we're going to be talking about what's new in Google AdWords. So David's going to be going through some slides he's prepared, through about 20 minutes long. Any questions at all throughout, you can either tweet us at GetTrainedUK, and we'll answer them throughout the webinar or at the end. Or if you're watching us on Google Plus, you can actually just type in your questions there and answer those as well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is transfer over to the slides and get started. So enjoy the hangout. Okay, so David.
Okay, thanks Sarah, and hello everyone, thanks for joining us this afternoon. So what I'm going to run through over the next 20 minutes or so is just take you through some of the things in Google AdWords which are new or newish, have come in over the last year. And some of the things which, even if you've been using AdWords for a while, you may not be aware of these. I often find when people come onto our training courses here, and sometimes they've been using AdWords for a while, but because they've not kept up to date with all the latest features, they're missing out on opportunities to make their AdWords campaigns more efficient or take advantage of the new stuff Google has brought in. So the idea today is, even if you've been using AdWords for a while, you should learn some stuff like this that will bring you a bit more up to date. So things we're going to cover, we're going to look at ad extensions and how you can be making proper use of those. We're going to talk a fair bit about mobile, because there's a lot of emphasis increasingly these days on the importance of mobile and making your adverts work well on mobile, and also there's additional features now that you can use to target mobile users more effectively. So we'll look at that. We're going to look, particularly important on this for any business where you're using AdWords to generate telephone inquiries. We'll look at some of the ways that you can actually track how many of your phone calls are coming via AdWords, which parts of AdWords are generating those. Something that Google introduced very recently, and which they're currently rolling out and migrating towards something called upgraded URLs. So I'll be telling you a little bit about that. And finally, we'll just talk a bit about remarketing and how that can be used to improve the reach and the effectiveness of your AdWords marketing. Okay, so I'll start beginning with ad extensions. So ad extensions, that's a general term that covers various different things that you can add on to your basic AdWords advert. As many of you I'm sure will know, a standard AdWords advert has a headline and it has 2 lines of description. But one of the questions I get asked a lot on the courses is, people have been seeing AdWords ads come up and they say, well, it's got extra things on it, it's got phone numbers, addresses, extra links underneath. How do people get those? Well, those are all examples of what we call ad extensions. So the purpose of them is primarily to give people who are searching additional information that wouldn't otherwise fit into the standard ad format. But the other advantage of it for you as the advertiser is it means that your ads will stand out more and will have more impact. And that's really important, because ultimately the reason that you're doing AdWords is to get people to click on your ads, and you want them to come to your website. So the more your ads stand out, the better it is from that point of view. Also, the more your ads are clicked on, the more that will improve something called your quality score. And without getting too detailed about it, because quality score takes up about an hour or so of our full-day course, but quality score in a nutshell is something where if you get your quality score improved, your ads will rank higher up the results, and you'll also pay less for your clicks. So getting a good quality score is important. And as I said, one of the ways you get that is by having more clicks and having what we call your click-through rate increase. And the ad extensions, by making your ads stand out more, will help increase your click-through rate. So here's a couple of examples of ads which are using ad extensions. So I've put some coloured boxes around different elements of it to make it stand out. Obviously, those don't appear in real life. But what we see here, I went on and I think I searched something very generic. I just searched addresses in this example. And we can see there's a standard ad that has a headline of 5 phase 8 addresses, and then the next 2 lines would have been discover new season arrivals, free click and collect with John Lewis. Everything underneath that that they are all examples of ad extensions. So the first bit there, where we've got free delivery over £50, free click and collect, that's a very new kind of ad extension. It's something called call-out extensions. Call-outs came in about 9 months or so ago, and what they're designed to do is just give you an opportunity to showcase extra benefits of your products or your services. And they're really, really easy to set up, but I find a lot of people actually don't even know they exist. And of course, if you don't know about something, there's no way you can take advantage of it. So what you need to do with call-outs is think about some of your unique selling points, some of the benefits of what you offer, and just make those into a list of things that you can put in as call-out extensions. Each one can be up to 25 characters, and you literally just go into the ad extensions part of your AdWords account, you enter your call-outs, and then Google, if they are feeling nice and in the right mood, they will show call-out extensions on your ads some of the time. They don't cost you anything because they're not clickable. And with all of the ad extensions, you only pay if someone actually clicks and goes through to your website. So because call-out extensions actually aren't clickable, they're just there for people to see and to read, there's no additional cost in having them there. Okay? But what they will do is increase the chance of someone clicking on the main part of your ad and going through to your website. Underneath that, we've got ratings extensions where it's taking ratings from consumer reviews and putting those in the ads. And the next one down is very important for anyone who has a physical presence and wants to visit their shop or their office or their restaurant, whatever it is your business is. So you can see there we've got an address at Brent Cross Shopping Centre. That's what we call a location extension. Very easy to set up. You just need to make sure that you have a Google My Business page set up, which you ought to have anyway for SEO purposes and everything like that. And then if you link your My Business page to your AdWords account, then Google will have the potential to show your address in the ad. And if someone clicks on that, they won't go to your website, they'll get taken through to a Google map showing where you are, but you will still pay your normal cost of click. And then next to that, just to the right of the location extension, we have a phone number. That's called a call extension. Okay, so not to be confused with call out extensions. This one here is a call extension, which is purely for displaying your phone number. And call extensions take two formats. If it's an ad appearing on a desktop machine like we've got here, it will actually just display the phone number, and then people can manually dial that number. If someone was searching on a mobile phone, then rather than showing the number, it will show a call button, and someone can just click call and get connected straight through to you. So for any business where it's important for you to generate phone calls, particularly if you're running AdWords out of mobiles, call extensions make a big difference because it just makes it really, really easy for someone to touch a single button to call you and be speaking to you. And then the final bit down there, those four links at the bottom: occasion dresses, top rated, cocktail dresses, and black dresses. Those are examples of site links. So these are extra links that you can set up as an advertiser. Again, a bit like a call out, you can give Google a big long list of these, and it will show a couple of them or 4 of them on any particular search if it feels that your ad is relevant enough and you've got a high enough quality score. And what site links do is allow you to signpost people to other particular parts of your site. So in this example, I said I went on to search for something quite generic. I just searched for dresses. Well, by doing this, the advertiser can say, okay, well, if you've got a particular type of dress in mind, if you're looking for black dresses or cocktail dresses, here are links directly to that part of the site. So it's making life a bit easier for the searcher. Then there's another one here. This time I've searched for shirts rather than dresses and got this advert come up here for TM Lewin. This has got some of the same kind of extensions in, but also showcases a couple others that we didn't see there in the John Lewis one. The first one, the one there with the pink box around it, those stars, that's what we call seller reviews. Now, these aren't something you can actually manually put in your advert yourself, but what will happen is, if you have got reviews about your business on independent third-party review sites, things like FIFO, Trustpilot, Review Centre, those kinds of sites, once you've got a sufficient number of them, once you've got 30 of those reviews, as long as they're an average star rating of 3.5 stars or above, then Google will potentially show your star rating in the adverts. And we use it ourselves here in our ads. We found it's a really powerful tool because it makes the ad stand out a lot more, just by having those stars in there and that splash of orange colour. but also because people can click the word rating next to where the stars are and actually read the recent reviews. It's a good credibility builder as well. So I would strongly recommend if you've got the kind of business and the kind of customers where you can be gathering reviews from them and getting those published online, it's well worth doing that, not just for its own sake, but for the benefits it will give you in terms of the response on your AdWords ads. Below that, in the green box, we've got what's called a social extension. So if you're active on Google+, you've got a good number of posting content regularly, then Google will potentially show in your ads how many followers you've got, which again is an endorsement and credibility builder. And then below that, we see more examples of site links and location extension and call extensions. So as you can see, both those ads there, by virtue of having the ad extensions, they're about twice the size they would have been otherwise, therefore much more impact, higher click-through rate and improved quality scores, and therefore the potential for lower costs and higher ranking. So if you're not using all the ad extensions you could be doing for your kind of business, I would definitely say that's an area that you need to review. But one of those that really every business should be using, some of them aren't relevant to every business. If you're a consultant working from home, you probably don't want location extensions up, for example, because you don't want people knocking on your front door all the time. But the ad extension, I think, really applies to every kind of business, every kind of website, is site links. So I've just put another slide here just to show site links in a bit more detail. 3 examples there taken from World of Laser Eye Surgery, and that just shows you the different kind of formats that they come in. The bottom 2 ads, we've got site links, 4 site links just appearing in a line. But as you can see with the top one for Optical Express, if you've got a really relevant ad and a really good quality score, you can even actually have a couple of lines of description appearing with each site link. So the amount of impact then really is very high. And what all of these have done, which I would recommend you do, is rather than just having site links that say things like black dresses, blue shirts, pink trousers, or whatever, then what you should do really is use your site links to put across more kind of punchy marketing messages, put across benefits and calls to action. So you can see in that top one, I think calls to action, like check if you're suitable, find your local clinic, and some of the other ones there we've got pushing the benefits about finance and frequently asked questions and that kind of stuff. So be a bit imaginative with your site links, and they'll have higher click-through rates. So
a few people saying it's a bit muffled over, so I'm going to speak a bit.
Okay, I'll shut it slightly closer to my laptop as well.
It's the beanbag.
Hopefully that's better. Okay, do you have any questions? Or was that just a comment about speak up? Okay, right, back on then. So the second area we're going to look at is how you can optimize your AdWords campaigns to make them more effective on mobile devices. Depending on which stats you read or which stats you choose to believe, this is one that I found recently, but now over 50% of searches I've done on mobile. Whether that's totally accurate or not, it certainly is undeniably the case that the number of searches on mobile is going up and up all the time. Obviously, more people have smartphones, more websites become mobile friendly, etc. So it is worth taking the mobile market very seriously when you're doing AdWords. Now, one of the things you definitely do to tap into that, as I've talked about just now, is make sure you're using call extensions. You know what it's like if you're searching on a mobile phone. You might be willing to do a search on the phone, but do you really want to trawl all the way through someone's website trying to find their phone number? When if the alternative is you can just click the call button and be connected straight through to them. So definitely use call extensions. As I said, with ad extensions like that, there's no charge for having them. If someone clicks on that call button, you will just pay the same cost per click as if they click through to your website. But the difference is you've actually got someone on the end of the phone straight away. So it's potentially a more valuable thing, but for no extra cost. You can also, when you're setting up your ads, you might notice there's a box that you can tick when you're right next to the ad, when you're writing it, which says to give preference for that ad on mobile platforms. So if you've got particular kinds of messages which are more relevant to mobile users and you're writing ads around those, you can use that tick box to make sure that mobile users see those ads rather than ones which are more, where the content is more aimed at desktop searches. You should definitely make sure that your landing page, or in fact your whole website, is mobile friendly. This has always been a good bit of advice, but as I'm sure you are aware, last month, 21st of April was it? So it's around about that date, Google did a change to their algorithm which it massively increased the importance of having a mobile-friendly website. So yeah, that's important whether you're using AdWords or not, but obviously particularly with AdWords, if you're paying money to send mobile users to your site, you should make sure they're getting a good, useful experience. Now this one here, call-only campaigns, this is quite a recent addition to the AdWords feature list. I've said that for quite a while you'll be able to have the call extensions and have the ability for someone to phone you by clicking the button on your advert. But one of the things you can do now, using what we call call-only campaigns, is set your campaign up such that the only thing someone can do is call you. So if someone's searching on a mobile phone, they'll see your advert, and it's actually impossible to click through to your website. Wherever they click on the ad, all it will do is patch them through to you on the phone. So if phone calls are your main conversion, your main goal that you've got, then I would strongly recommend at least testing out call-only campaigns to see how well that works for you. And this one here, put important info onto line 1. So if you're writing ads which are designed to be shown on mobile phones, it's important that you put your most vital information onto the first line of the ad. And I'll demonstrate why with these couple of examples. So here is a standard AdWords ad appearing on a desktop machine for an estate agent. And as you can see, the two description lines says, Keith Ashton, a local specialist, call now for a free valuation. Perfectly acceptable advert. Now look what happens to that same advert when it appears on a mobile phone. Because there's obviously less space on a mobile, and they're trying to fit in room for the call button and the site links and everything else, the ad actually gets chopped off halfway through line 2. So now it says call now for a ... So one of the most important calls to actions is actually missing from it. So be aware of that when you're writing ads that will appear on mobile. If there's a message you really want to get across, you need to be putting it in the headline or in line 1 of your description, not taking a chance of putting it in line 2 where it might get chopped off, as we can see there. Something else you should be aware of in terms of mobile is how you can do different bids if someone's on a mobile phone. So with the whole point with AdWords is obviously you're setting bids, you're saying the maximum that you're willing to pay for each click on your advert. But you can use bid adjustments to make those bids higher or lower when someone's using a mobile. So if mobiles are particularly important for you, say for example if you were a locksmith, most of your really sort of important inquiries are going to come from people on mobile phones because they're the people locked out of their house who need an emergency locksmith. So in that example, you might decide you actually want to increase your bids for people who are searching on mobile phones, and you can increase them by up to 300% using the bid adjustment tool. On the other hand, if you found that mobile searches were not very profitable for you, or if your website wasn't mobile friendly, so you didn't want to be sending mobile people to it at the moment, then you can decrease your bids on mobiles by up to 100%. And if you put them to 100% decrease, that has the same effect as turning them off if you're bidding 0. Now, if you're not sure whether mobile traffic is useful to you or not, there is something built into AdWords called segments. For those of you who've done any kind of stuff with Google Analytics, you'll be aware of segments. It's about sort of dividing your data up and looking at how different parts of your website audience behave compared to others. And it's the same in AdWords. So by using the segments menu, which we can see here, you can segment on various different things, as you can see in that drop down. But one of the things you can do segments on is the device type. So you can actually look at your AdWords account and look at all the stats in there and split them up into those that come from desktops and those that come from mobiles. And that's where you might start to see that, for example, you're spending a lot of money on mobile traffic, but it's not converting in the same way that desktop traffic does, and you might then decide to reduce your mobile bids. Or the other way around, you might find that your mobile traffic is really, really good, and that's why you want to increase your bids on mobiles. But by using the segment tool, you can actually be doing these bid adjustments based on some actual data rather than just guesswork, which is obviously the preference. Okay, I said I would talk as well about call tracking. So for any businesses where you're getting inquiries via the phone, and it's important to know how many of those you're getting, but also what keywords are actually triggering them. Now, with your click to call, you have a call button on the ads. If someone clicks on one of those, Google will track that for you automatically and can show each one of those calls as a conversion. But what that doesn't do, that doesn't cater for the people who clicked on your ad, gone through to your website, and then phoned you up. So to track calls that actually come from your website, you can, again, this is a relatively new thing. Google now have a call tracking feature built in, so as you can do that. Or there are third-party tools which are a bit more advanced than the basic Google tracking, such as Response Tap, or one that I find particularly good for smaller businesses because it's a lower budget one. It has all the features that a small business needs, to be honest. Is Call Tracking Metrics. Now, the way something like call tracking metrics and the other things work is that you sign up for an account with them, they give you an alternative phone number, and you configure your website using some code that they give you, so that if someone arrives at your website via AdWords, they see a different phone number. They see this tracking phone number. If they phone it, they come straight through to you as normal, but because they've run the tracking number, Call Tracking Metrics or whatever tracking software you're using will know about that call and will log it as a call from AdWords. It integrates with Google Analytics and feeds that data back into there. And from Google Analytics, you can feed that back into AdWords. And so from that, you can see right down to the keyword level, which of your keywords are generating calls for you and which of them aren't. Okay, it's a really, really clever system. And if calls are important for you, I would say it's a no-brainer for using this. It typically costs people £25, £30 a month. But the amount of extra data it gives you and the cost savings you can potentially make with that data make it really worth doing. I've talked about using it for AdWords. You can use these for other things as well. So you can set it up to track how many calls you get from organic traffic or from the email campaigns you're doing or whatever. Most of these systems even have advanced call management built in there. So you can do things like say to it, ring the office phone, and if that's not answered within 10 seconds, divert to the mobile or whatever. So it's, as well as doing call tracking, it's kind of a full phone system built into it as well.
Just a quick question, David.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay for call tracking?
The call tracking in AdWords itself you don't, but the third party ones about like call tracking metrics will cost, depending on the number of calls you have, but most people I work with typically are spending £25, £30 a month for that.
And is there kind of any benefit of using
more features basically, and you can, for a start, the one about tracking other traffic sources. So the AdWords one will only track AdWords, the third party ones let you track calls from SEO, from email campaigns and everything. And yeah, we just got a few more, like anything, if you're paying for it, you get a few more features and things. That's an example there on the screen now of the kind of report that you get from this software. So this is a list of all the calls that come in. It tells you the number of the person who called, what keyword they triggered, what page they were on, how long the call lasted, and all that kind of thing. So there really is a lot of detail there, which can be very useful for people. Right, next thing on the list was upgraded URLs. So this is pretty new. What it's designed to do is provide an easier way to handle things if you've got the kind of AdWords set up and the kind of website where you're putting tracking parameters on the end of your destination URLs. So to give an example, I've done some work with someone recently helping them set up their AdWords whereby they wanted to send somebody to a landing page, a single landing page, but have some of the wording on that page change depending on which AdWords ad was clicked on. And we use tracking parameters in the URLs to make that happen. Now, what the benefit of upgraded URLs is previously, if you decided to change your tracking parameters, that meant your entire destination URL was being changed, and therefore every time you did that, your ads had to be re-reviewed. What upgraded URLs do, they basically separate out the landing page part of the URL from the tracking part, and they're treated as separate things. So if all you're changing is the tracking part, it doesn't force your ad to be reapproved whenever you change anything. And it also has the facility if you actually create templates for your tracking URLs. So when you're creating new ads and creating new campaigns, it's much easier to roll out the tracking. So won't apply to all of you, but if you are doing at the moment anything with tracking parameters, then you really should look into this, because at the moment the new system and the old system are running side by side, but Google have advised that everyone should update to the new style tracking URLs before the 1st of July. So you've only got 5 or 6 weeks to get a handle on this and get it sorted if you have got an account that's currently using tracking URLs. Yeah, and the final one I want to talk about is remarketing. Now, remarketing isn't particularly new, to be fair. It's been around in Adwords for a little while, but it's an area where I still tend to find that people are a bit unaware of what it does and how powerful it can be. So I thought I would include that as a bit of a bonus feature on this. The idea of remarketing is to allow you to have a second go at engaging with visitors who've already been to your site. So what remarketing does is, if someone's already been to your website, then when they're off looking at other websites out there, they will potentially see adverts for your site, which are designed to try and bring them back. So I'm sure you've probably all experienced, been on the receiving end of this, even if you weren't quite aware of what it was. You've looked at a website about training courses, for example, and then later on in the day, you're on a totally different website, might be a website about cookery or something, and you're seeing adverts for the training providers that you looked at. Those are examples of remarketing ads, and the idea is, the hope is, the advertisement, you see that and think, oh yes, I must go back and book that training course, and so you click onto the advert. So it's an area of AdWords called display advertising, because it's adverts appearing on other people's websites. And the idea of it is that by using this, although you're paying for the click to bring people back for the second visit, overall it will hopefully increase your return on investment by giving you that second chance to convert people. So the way it works is before you can show the ads to people, you have to create what they call audience lists. So this is basically different kinds of lists of people that you can show these remarketing ads to. And when you first set up remarketing, it creates one list by default, which is the all visitors list. And that's basically a list of just everyone who visits your site. Anyone who comes to your website will get put onto the all visitors list. And at its simplest level, if you just want to get started testing out remarketing for the first time, just use the all visitors list. That's perfectly good enough for giving you a flavour of what this can do. Later on, you can create more advanced lists, like you can have a list of people who visited particular pages on your site, or a list of people who did buy something, or a list of people who didn't buy something, and and play around with it like that. But the all visitors list is a good starting point. Once people are on that list, you can then create either text ads or image ads, which are generally get a better response because they've got more impact. You can create text or image ads and show those to the people who are on your chosen audience list. If you're doing e-commerce, you can even do dynamic ads, where it will actually show an ad with the specific products that that person's been looking at and the pricing and everything like that. And if it's done right, it can work really well. What I would say is don't overdo it. I mean, a lot of people get fed up if they see the same remarketing ads over and over. So there are controls in there, so you can limit how many times one person will see the same ad and how often they'll stay on your list for. By default, it's 30 days, but you can amend that. Okay? But again, as with all things in AdWords, test and experiment, play around with it, and see what works best for you in terms of bringing people back and increasing your conversions. So, just to sort of summarise that before then we'll take any questions that you might have and anything that we've talked about. In terms of actions and things to do from this, first of all, make sure you're using all the ad extensions which are relevant to your kind of website and your kind of business. Particularly if you've not looked at this area of your account for 6 months or a year, go back in and use some of the new ones like call-out extensions, because otherwise you're just missing opportunities to get more traffic. Look at your mobile strategy. Think about whether you need to create ads specifically tailored for mobile and tick the mobile preference box on those. And think about whether you need to implement call tracking. If you're getting calls coming into your business via AdWords, I would strongly recommend you do this so that you can see which keywords and which ads are actually generating those calls. If you're using tracking parameters in your ads, don't forget you've only got until the 1st of July to upgrade to the new system on that. And if you haven't already given it a try, then set up a small remarketing campaign. Just allocate a very small budget to it, just so so if it doesn't work, you're not losing loads of money. But just allocate a small amount of budget to that. Create an audience list. Create some display adverts. You can do that very easily nowadays with the automatic tool that's in AdWords. It will actually go to your website. It will find images. It will create all the different banner ads for you in about 30 seconds. So it's no longer the case you need to spend out lots of money getting professionally designed banners, if all you want to do is just test the water and see if remarketing can work for you. And if you want more information on these things, or you want more in-depth help on them, then the final action you could do is to book onto one of our AdWords training courses. We've got courses at the beginner level and also advanced courses. The advanced ones being sort of where for people who've already been using AdWords for a few months, they've got some data and want to come along with their laptops and be hands-on and have help optimizing the accounts. So the website address is there to want more information on those. But the next beginner course is on the 16th of June. That's actually only got 2 places left on it. So if you want to go on that one, then need to be quick. And the next advanced one is on the 26th of August, I believe. So it's just confirmed.
26th of June.
So 26th of June, yes. I read June, said August. So they're both in June. Beginner one on the 16th and the advanced one on the 26th.
And there'll be some more dates going up shortly.
Yeah, we've only got June dates on there, but the dates for July onwards will be going up very shortly, because as soon as we've juggled some diaries around. So I hope that's been useful. If there are any questions, fire them at us now or tweet them to us later on. I know a lot of you will be watching this on the replay rather than live, so if you're seeing this after the 2 o'clock slot and you've got questions, don't worry. The Twitter address at the bottom there, just ping that to us and we'll come back to you. And thank you very much for listening.
Okay, great. Thank you, David. And hopefully that sound improved for everyone throughout there. We just moved the laptop. I think it was a bit muffled before. But like I said, we will. This recording will be available on our YouTube channel. So you can search us on YouTube at Business Training Made Simple. It'll also be on our Google Plus page as well. And if you're actually on our webinar list, then we'll email it out to you. So like David said, tweet us any questions, always at the end of Twitter at GetTrainedUK at any point, and we'll get back to you on those. Thank you very much, everyone. All have a lovely afternoon. I'll just do a quick wave goodbye to you all now before we leave. Even though I have to warn you, we've moved over to the floor. You might only see our knees, yeah, let's just see. There we are. Goodbye. See you later. Have a good day.